been a little while since we've been able to have a show, but welcome back into Inside Humboldt Basketball with Coach Ron Abernathy. And, Coach, we've had a lot of success since we've talked. You had a 5-game win streak. Then you went to a tournament in Westview and then got the first district win. So we got a lot to unpack in this opening segment. But talk about that 5-game win streak that your team went on. I mean, we had back-to-back wins, and it does a lot for a program.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. We actually in that back-to-back, in that 5-game win streak, I believe we swept Ripley and swept Crockett County.
Yes.
And the biggest takeaway from that is we actually, with Crockett County, I believe we beat them by 11 points here at home.
That's right.
And, of course, we went over there and completely took them out in their home gym.
That's right. And running clock, I think it was into the third quarter, into the fourth.
Right.
Just to see even your bench players come in that game and just light it up.
Right. It was a tremendous, I believe almost everyone scored.
I believe so.
That played, and that was a tremendous opportunity to get those kids who practice hard every day and who contribute at a great level to get them the chance to play in regular competition.
And both games against Ripley were great games. I mean, you know that's going to happen every year. They come in here. We had to beat them in overtime here at home. But then when we traveled there, we got it done in regulation, but it was a tight game pretty much the whole way through.
Oh, yeah. And I was saying to someone is the big difference in single A and triple A is the number of talented kids.
That's right.
Where we may have 1 or 2 or maybe 3, they will have 4 or 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And in the long term, that's a big task.
That's right.
To overcome.
Yeah, it is, and you're stretching our team talent-wise in the sense that we're playing people that are better than us, and yet we're still able to find ways to win even some of those games. You went to a Christmas tournament in Westview, which is stacked with talent. You got teams that I think you played Obion Central. You played Dyer County and Fayette Ware.
Yes.
And those 3 games, even though we didn't come out, we came out with a victory against Obion and we lost to Dyer County and Fayette Ware. What are some of the lessons that you see we pull out of that tournament?
Well, again, competition at a higher level, which pushes us. For example, with Fayette Ware, who's tremendously talented, at the end of the first half, we were down 1 point.
Yeah.
And at the end of the third quarter, we were down 5, I believe. And then, of course, they hit that streak in the fourth quarter and kind of pulled away from us. But, again, that's where the difference in the level and the numbers overtake you between 3A and single A.
So what happened in that fourth quarter of Fayette Ware? Because I know they scored 30 points, but our offense only was able to put up 7.
Right, and like I said again, when you're a 3A team like that and you got that many talented kids, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the difference. I would like to have seen us handle it a lot better, but we didn't.
Yeah.
And that was okay.
But those lessons carry on over into new games, and here we had Halls just this past Friday night come in here to Humboldt, and they had a talented kid. That Coleman, I can't remember his first name. I don't know why Larry's. I don't think that's right, but Coleman I know is right. His last name, number 15, came in and had a phenomenal first quarter against us, and Halls was able to jump on us 23-14 right out of the gate. Now, I know we were missing some pieces that we normally use, and they were able to double Fred more as a result of it. And it just shows how vital Fred is to this team.
No question about it. No question about it. They doubled him, and of course he got in foul trouble.
Yes.
So he had to sit for a little while. But thanks to our other bench players, we were able to stay in the game and maintain until we get to that third quarter.
Yeah, Jeffrey Patterson's a very unselfish player. Something I've watched. But when Fred has to take a seat, it's like Jeffrey turns another switch on.
Right.
And he kind of takes over the game and kind of helps really those other pieces that are in there having to try to lift their weight as well. Jeffrey just kind of says, hey, just add the extra weight from Fred on me. And I think he even led your team in scoring Friday night.
I think he did. I think he had 23, and we kind of moved him a little bit. We put him at the 2 guard and used Eli.
That's right.
At the point. And JJ was able to score very well from that wing.
Now, help me know, Eli, what grade is he in?
Eli's a junior also.
Okay, so you have a strong junior class. So,
but our strongest class is our junior class because we only have 2 seniors.
Yes.
And that's Fred and
Cornell. Yeah.
And then the junior class is strong.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of sophomores and a freshman.
Yes. Well, you know, I said you went down 23-14, but you had probably your best quarter of the year that I've seen, that I've been at. In that second quarter, turning it around, scoring 26 points, and it just felt like everything was clicking for us, and both offense and defense, you know.
Right, it did. I also think, you know, different situations, different times, different reactions, you know.
Yeah.
Those first district games are kind of always that way. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of added extra pressure, and you know, our kids, I thought they were ready to play. They just come out and you know, we didn't make some key shots early.
Yes.
Which gets us in a hole. And then, of course, we came back that second quarter and pushed the ball inside even more and stepped up our defense quite a bit. And were able to get a lot of good buckets off of steals and pressure in them.
And maybe I'm wrong here. I see a trend where, and I know you don't necessarily want it to start this way, where a lot of our first quarters we start slower than probably what coaches would rather it happen. And then it's almost like the third quarter can sometimes be a little bit of a slower start. Is that just them trying to get back into the game, you think? Or what is it?
To be honest, I don't know what it is. It does drive us crazy. Because perennially we've been really a good third quarter team.
Okay.
Because we've always kind of come out in third quarter and kind of put the game away. Go after be very, very concentrated intently in the third quarter. Normally we do.
Well, this team right here, if you let them hang around to the fourth quarter, you're going to get the show in the fourth.
Right.
Like they play like their hearts and their lives are depending on it. And I love watching this team in the fourth quarter. And you shut Halls down in the fourth quarter. We outscored them 23-8. And some three balls did drop, but it was mainly the gritty play, you know, inside the paint, like we normally play.
Right, like we normally play. And we extended our defense a lot more. And then, you know, if you notice with the full court defense a little bit more.
Yes.
And they made a lot of turnovers and put the ball in our hands.
You know, and I'm very careful when we talk about officiating because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But there was a charge call and there was a couple other calls that I really felt were very weak. But your kids do a great job of just playing on through. You can't change it. I mean, nothing you can do. You just got to keep playing.
Well, we try to tell them don't. You can't officiate and you can't play both. You got to do one or the other.
Yeah.
So let us handle the officiating and you just play.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to get into them and try to tell them. And, you know, and like I said, you know, the officials are the officials.
Yeah.
And, you know, my biggest thing is I don't want to get caught up, you know, in looking at the officials. Just play basketball.
That's right.
And however they call the game, adjust to it.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about your schedule moving forward. You have the rare occurrence of playing another home game back-to-back here because you got just a few home games, but you get some of them back-to-back. And, folks, every game from here on out is going to matter. And when I say matter, we're talking playoff matter because every game from here on out is district games other than just a few exceptions, and we'll talk about that. And then I want to get your thoughts on that and how that transpires, just for the fans to know how the schedule comes together. Right. Who makes those calls? How do we do this? What's the thought process behind it? So when we come back, we'll talk to Coach Ab about that, and appreciate you watching Inside Humboldt Basketball with Coach Ronald Abernathy.
Nothing brings community together quite like a sporting event. Security Bank and Trust Company is committed to supporting our local sports teams because we know how important it is to be part of a great team. This is Deanne McEwen at Security Bank and Trust Company. When you team up with us, you are fostering the competitive spirit of our local athletes. Want to be part of our team? Join our amazing banking community. Visit your nearest branch or head to securitybanktn.com to learn more. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Jake from State Farm. It's tough trying to make it as a streamer.
Hey, you've got this. Remember, State Farm is there to support you. Besides, I think I know a guy.
You want to make it big, kid? Timmy Tenders knows how.
Let's do this, Gramps.
I'm only 33. Give me a Y, give me a space bar, give me a space bar, give me a mouse touch, give me a mouse touch.
Ah.
Now talk to Chad.
Who's Chad? Chad. Where's Chad?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Who is the table for? It's not just where some serve while others sit. The table is where we make decisions, where we shape the future, where we engage each other on equal ground. If we're going to feed the world, it will take all of us. Every voice, every point of view, everyone at the table.
Are you looking for a job in manufacturing or maintenance? Look no further than West Rock, located at 1720 North 9th Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. West Rock is not only proud to support the Humboldt Vikings, but they are also actively hiring. What's even better is there is no mandatory weekend overtime. The manufacturing position starting at a competitive $19.25 an hour, and the possibility for an increase to $19.83 an hour after just 60 days. West Rock offers a great opportunity for those interested in the field. If you have an experience as a maintenance technician, the pay ranges from $21.39 to $32.88, depending on your level of expertise. Don't wait any longer to get started on your application by visiting jobs.westrock.com. Join the West Rock team as we cheer on your team, the Humboldt Vikings.
This burger looked at one slice of melted cheese and said, more cheese. It looked at pickles and said, also onions. It wanted to be more than hot. It wanted to be juicy. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese.
Are you in search of a nurturing and educational environment for your little ones? Look no further than We Pray Learning Academy, located at 910 North Central Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. We offer our services to children aged 8 weeks to 12 years old. With our dedicated owners, Hannah and Doris Collins, you can rest assured knowing that your family is in good hands. To learn more about our academy and how we can best serve your child, reach out to us via email at weprayacad@yahoo.com or give us a call at 731-784-7294. We can't wait to meet you and your little Vikings.
Sport builds us up. It strengthens our bodies. It strengthens our resolve. Sport teaches us lessons of grace or humility or humanity, and that we're far more powerful together. Winning the hour or winning the year or winning our lives. We're winning our way. Because while a season is short, fierce is forever.
Hey Vikings fans, this is Ted Martin, former Humboldt Vikings quarterback and class of '93 graduate. When me and my fellow classmates want to follow Viking sports, we watch Viking News on Demand. In addition to live streaming of games, there are also plenty of specialty shows that keep us all involved in our alma mater. On behalf of the class of 1993, go Vikings!
Humboldt Vikings coming in here on a high on this program as we had 5-game win streak, sweeping Ripley and Crockett County, and then went to the Christmas tournament, even stole a win up there, and learned a lot of great lessons in a Christmas tournament. Came back home last Friday night, got back on the winning train, and it was a district win. And here we are with another district game coming up, Coach. We got Clarksburg coming in tomorrow night, and it's another home game. What do you see when you're looking at tape with Clarksburg? What do we expect to see from Clarksburg coming up Tuesday night?
A good team is, as I say, every night's different.
Yes, sir.
So when they throw that ball up, you got to be ready to play. Got some pretty good shooters.
Okay.
They shoot the ball very, very well. And of course, a good base of competition for us.
Yeah. Is their strength the inside game, or is it going to be one of those teams again where they got a lot of three-point shooters?
They're going to shoot. They got a lot of three-point shooters. They got a lot of three-point shooters. They're going to put it up.
I'm seeing that's kind of a trend that we're seeing a lot of teams we're playing this year.
It is, and they will be no different. They'll be able to put it up, and they hit shots.
Vikings will be looking here to take a game away from the Rockets here at Thomas Ray Boykin Gymnasium. Now, I want to make sure and mention, folks, if you're planning to go to the game, you have to know a few things, and that is, number one, you don't buy tickets at the door. It's all in gofan.com. Also, don't expect to bring anything but clear bags inside. Safety is a top priority here, and they're doing a great job at the door. You'll go through metal detectors, all of that. I say it, and I don't say it tongue-in-cheek. I say it honestly. This is the safest place in town when it comes ball game night. And so they're doing a great job keeping things under control, concession stand, all of that. You'll enjoy all of that. Come on out and support these kids. They've only got a few home games this year, so we need to make every one of them count. You're playing Clarksburg, and then you will travel to Bradford. Bradford has been known for years to have a great program.
They do.
It's not going to be any different this year.
No, it's not any different. And then going to Bradford is a tough place to play. And again, we have to be ready and prepared.
Yes, sir. Do you see any strengths with Bradford this year, or is it just pretty much a really well-rounded team?
Well, they have a good program. They
Yes, they
always
do.
have. And so when you got programs like that, they were consistently good. So you have to beat them. I mean, you have to prepare for them, and which we will do.
Yes, sir.
And to prepare to play against them and be competitive and win the game.
So when you look at the schedule, there's asterisks beside district games. And when you get to last Friday night's game, there's a whole lot of asterisks from here to the end of the year. Does that happen by design, on purpose, or is that just kind of how the chips fell this year?
No, there's a rotation. It's a rotation with our district schedule.
Yeah.
And it comes from the district meetings, and there's a rotation, and we just flip the rotation. You just flip the home and aways.
Yeah.
It's already pre-done by the district office in the district meeting, through the district meeting.
Now, I understand the home and aways, but the actual schedule of who comes next, how does that happen? Do you as a coach get to speak to that?
No, that's pre-done too.
Okay.
That's pre-done too.
So probably everybody in our district, that's how it's probably happening this year, just from looking at it.
Well, yeah, the district schedule has all the teams in the district on that schedule.
So the same, everybody's playing district games from here on out.
Yeah, everybody is. Yeah.
So that's where probably some people would have a question and be like, well, why in the world would Coach wait till the end of the year to play all our district games? And so I wanted to make sure we go ahead and silence that because
that's a district-wide meeting. That's a district-wide situation, circumstance that comes out every year of district time. So this also just on a rotating basis.
So are we on year 2 of this rotation, or?
This is actually year 2.
Okay, so next year is when they
could
would even.
They could look at doing it different next year.
And they could even change your district if who's in your district at that point.
Yeah, which they changed it this time. We got
they
3
did.
new teams to our district, which is Clarksburg, which is West Carroll, and Bradford, which came into our district. And the 3, though, Lake County, Peabody, all were moved out.
Yeah.
So we could look at another district, we could be looking at different teams.
What is their reasoning for behind changing districts? Is it just to keep the competition level good?
I really don't know, but it's usually based on supposedly the number of students in your school.
Okay.
And they try to keep that adjusted to the number of students that are in your school.
Yeah.
And, we're small.
Sure.
Clarksburg small.
Yes, sir.
West Carroll small.
Yes, sir.
So, consequently, Peabody's growing and they are bigger. And that's what they basically use is population.
I'm looking it up here right now because Clarksburg, a lot of people are like, where in the world is Clarksburg? It's 30 minutes away from us, so it's not terrible as far as travel, but I would think district-wise they try to think about that as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a major factor.
Yeah.
Travel. And, to try to, choose schools and situations, circumstances that are closer.
Yeah.
To cut down on travel time.
It's worked out better for basketball this year than football. Football, we had a lot of long games.
I know. And
you got them Dresden trips and Lake County.
Yeah. I used to dread them. I dread them. But
yes, sir.
For basketball, it's a lot better because that Union City is in our region.
Yes.
which is the other side, which is District 13.
That's right.
Which they were moved to 2A, and they moved them back to 1A.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a prime example.
Yes, sir. So that hopefully will give you some information and maybe a little more knowledge to tuck under your belt on how these things happen and schedules. Like we say, we think year 2 here, so we should be knowing when does that meeting take place? Is it as soon as basketball's over?
As soon as basketball's over, and then we have a meeting, and then before the season starts, we have another meeting.
Okay.
We actually meet 3 times a year.
Okay.
For regular season, and then we meet for district tournament. Then we meet for regional tournament.
Okay.
Okay.
So really, like locations of all those other tournaments right now really haven't been announced.
100%. No, they have not. Now the district will be at West Carroll.
Okay.
Okay, but the regional is still up in the air. They're talking between Bethel and UT Martin.
Oh yeah, UT Martin's a nice facility.
It is.
It's always a lot of fun going up there.
You know that we swapped that this year's District 13 call.
Okay.
You know, so they'll basically decide that.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, it's been a great season so far, and now we're in crunch time. This is what you work toward. And a lot of people may not understand, like when you go on and you look at our overall record, and people are like, I thought we were better than that. We are. We're better than our record.
We are.
We've just been playing teams that are better than us, and now is when that shines.
And it does, and for us and our coaching staff, it is, and our team, it has worked out very well. It's kind of going according to plan.
Yes, sir.
Of playing those teams tough like that and coming back and playing in our district, it's worked pretty well.
Is it a roll of the dice in the sense that, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, where your record is not as good right now, but let's just say a team in our district played those cupcake games, and we end up with a tied record in the district.
Right.
Then those other games come into play, correct?
Right.
So really, it's kind of a roll of the dice in that you better learn those lessons or you're out.
You're out. That's exactly what
okay.
it is.
Yeah. But it's always played well for us here in Humboldt in that, you know, our kids have learned those lessons, and it's because of the coaching staff, I'm sure.
Yeah, after 10 years, I believe that's how it works.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, we've kind of followed that pattern in our 10 years here, and it's worked very well for us, you know.
Now, we talked about you being a heavy junior class, and we're gonna wrap this up pretty quick here. You're talking about being a heavy junior class. We haven't talked a lot about your freshman league, other than a few weeks ago. I think with Coach Ingram, we talked to him a little bit about it. How's the freshmen, from your perspective? How do you feel they're progressing? Because that's your future.
That is our future, and they are doing a great job.
Wonderful.
Because actually, during the regular season, it's the freshman league, but what they've done is allowed sophomores and freshmen to play together. But when the tournament comes, it's just on freshmen only.
Okay.
Okay, so our sophomores are able to play also, and they've done a great job. If I'm not mistaken, they are undefeated, I believe.
I think that's what I've heard.
I think they are. You know, I know that they're like 6-0, I believe.
Yeah.
And did a very good job this week past. So
across the league, there is the freshman league pretty competitive.
Oh, very competitive. It's great for us. It's a great avenue to allow freshmen to play with only freshmen to get their feet wet and to get their acclimation for high school basketball. I think it's a tremendous opportunity for those 9th graders to play that competitive ball against other 9th and 10th graders, and gets them ready.
What do they learn in the freshman league that's different than junior high? Because let's just say they come out of junior high and they're getting thrown into high school. Right. What's that big jump?
Speed.
Okay.
Quickness. Athleticism.
Yeah.
They have to think more.
Okay.
Junior high, if you're the biggest kid there, you're pretty much the best kid.
Yeah.
But once you get to high school, that doesn't necessarily mean a lot.
And that's pretty much sports all the way across.
Right, yeah.
Because Stefan, he's having to learn that too in high school.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah. I in practice sometimes, if you would have come, you'd hear me sometimes say, this is not junior high school.
Yeah.
You have to protect the ball better.
Yeah.
It's faster. Kids are quicker. They jump, you know, they think better. And junior high, like I said, pretty much if you're the big kid and the best athlete, you're pretty much going to be pretty much be the best.
Yeah.
But when you get to high school, there's a whole bunch of other people like you.
Yeah.
Good, are better than.
You know, we was talking before the broadcast, some kids that maybe had transferred, not from Humboldt, but we've seen them showing up on different teams and transferring. How has the transferring, has that slowed down a lot? I remember when I would hear a lot more about the transfers than I do now. Is there still a lot of transfers? Or
Yeah, there are.
Okay.
I think so.
We don't see that a lot here.
We we don't see it a lot. And I was saying to my coaches when we were in our meeting earlier today, we've lost a lot of kids who've transferred away.
Okay.
And who's left us, to name some. We talking 4, 5, 6 kids in my 10 years who left us to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course we've gotten kids in.
Yeah.
That have helped us. But pretty much we've lost a lot of kids.
I guess it just doesn't get the spotlight. I guess the college realm does. We just don't hear a lot about it. Local media, you don't hear a lot about it. You just show up to a game, you're like, wait a minute, that kid looks familiar.
And that's pretty much the way it is. But, if I'm not mistaken, we're coming to that same thing as college, having an open portal for one-time transfers.
Oh, okay.
That's in acclimation right now. So,
yeah.
That's pretty much.
What's the current rule? Because I know, after a certain time, they'd have to sit out a year. What's that current rule?
Well, if you transfer from one school to another, you have to sit out a year.
Okay.
But now they're giving away, you can get a waiver from the TSAA to play immediately. And
okay.
Of course, if you come from private to public, you can play immediately. Mm-hmm. And I think if you can go to public to private, you can play immediately.
Okay.
So there are some staunch rules for that.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody was to move to the area,
right,
they still have to sit?
No, if someone to move, if you move residence-wise, you can play.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Because I'd heard of some kids that had moved from Dyersburg, to the Medina area.
Right.
And they were under the understanding they was going to sit a year. And I was like, now, that ain't how I understand it. But I might be wrong.
If there's a residence change, you are likely to be eligible.
Yeah. Wow. Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you taking time for us every week. I know it's been a little bit. We'll try to get back here every week again. And now we're in the crucial times of the game. And good luck Friday night. We got Clarksburg, Tuesday night rather, and then Friday night at Bradford.
Right.
It'd be good to go 2-0 this week, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir. Sure would be. I'll take that. I promise you I would take that.
Yes, sir. We'll be back next Monday night with another edition of Inside Humboldt Basketball with Coach Abernathy. Thanks for watching.